Catch up on all the live shows right here on africatechradio.com.
From Nairobi to Cape Town, Cairo to Tunis, Lagos to Ouagadougou, we're Africa's premier online radio discussing technology, not just from Africa, but as it impacts Africa. Trust me when I say that you won't get this perspective anywhere else. I'll be here till about midday, and it'd be great if you stayed with me till then, streaming live on Africa Tech Radio's website, www.africatechradio.com. Tell me what you think on WhatsApp. Yep, you can text or send a voice note on 0913-558-1766. I'm always there, so I'll be responding to all your text messages. You can also follow the conversation on social media. On Twitter and on Facebook, we're at Africa Tech Radio, while on Instagram, we're at A Tech Radio. Stay on till like the end of today. I would let you know what our threads handle is. Yep. While some complain of Mondays and others of Wednesdays, I just keep moving and wishing for the day when someday, any day, every day, will be added to the days of the week to make up for the lost weekend and provide equal opportunities for all. I sincerely think that there are some unnamed days of the week like the ones I just mentioned, and I advocate for them. Voice of the unheard. Yep, you can call that justice for one and for all. I'm Tony. This is my side of technology. Everything that concerns technology from my end, exactly. I got you covered. Yep. We're going to be doing three things. First, dig deep into the rubbles of history to find precious jewels that help launch into the future. Second, we will be sharing thoughts on one particular word. Yes, the tech word of the day. And then we will dive deep into all the juicy stories that have made the week. Aside the cage fight, I will not be talking about the cage fight between Zuckerberg, Mac, and Musk, Elon. Yes, the whole Twitter and Threads charade. Well, that's what I want to call it. So, what are we starting with today? A whole new way to drive a screw. Today in 1936, July 7, several US patents were being issued for the Phillips head screw and screwdriver to inventor Henry F. Phillips. Phillips founded the Phillips Screw Company to license his patents. One of the first customers was General Motors, GM, yes, the very popular GM from way back in 1930s for its Cadillac assembly lines. By 1940, 85% of the US screw manufacturers had a license for the design. That's what we're going to be dealing with today. And our word for today, or phrase rather, is keyword search. Yes, it's a type of search that looks for matching documents that contain one or more words specified by the user. It's a type of search that looks for matching documents that contain one or more words specified by the user. So when you search for something, right, the type of search that you do that looks for matching documents that contain one or more words that you have requested for, yes, that's what we call keyword search. Well, yes, the biggest news of the week actually globally in the tech space is the launch of Meta's Threads. Or for us to put it a little bit, put more context into it here, it's Mark Zuckerberg's Threads. Yes, that's the biggest news in the space. If you're as big as Mark Zuckerberg, then trust me, I don't know, anything you do, literally, it's, if you're big, you're big. If you didn't dare, you didn't dare. We're talking over 1 billion people on one of your apps, and the same, over 1 billion people on two of the apps that you own. Man, whatever you launch, that's it. It's a go. So Threads launched, and Threads is more like something that's like Twitter. It's a conversation, app, text conversation app like Twitter, but it's attached to Instagram. And in case you didn't know, there's been some kind of struggle between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. Oh, they also said they were going to have a cage fight, and Tech on Code kept telling me, oh, this might just be the cage fight. Don't do that. I will not even discuss that here. That cage fight must happen because I think that Elon has started getting agitated, and this is the best time to actually do that. Keep training, bro. We got you back. We're going to stream it live. Yes, that's what we're going to do. At least if you put it on Twitter, well, you may actually retain the number of people who will stay back on Twitter. Twitter now is threatening to sue Meta over concerns about its new Threads app. And according to a letter that Semaphore obtained, the letter was addressed to Meta CEO Mark, and Twitter's lawyer Alex Spiro argued that Meta used Twitter's trade secrets. So they're alleging that what Mark Zuckerberg literally did was hire people that left Twitter, either people that Twitter fired or people who just left Twitter on their own. And most of those people shared trade secrets with Mark, and then somehow they were able to build this. Just imagine, I'm painting a scenario. This app was supposed to launch in 2022 last year, right? But it didn't launch. And all of a sudden, Elon Musk went on a firing spree, and all of a sudden, boom, Threads is ready. Yes, and Threads has been launched. Massive success, I would say. First 7 hours, 10 million signups. First 7 hours. Well, first day, 100 million. 90 something plus, but let's just say it's 100 million. 100 million people in the world sign up for Threads in one day. Okay, so that's how bad it gets. According to Twitter, many of the former workers still have access to Twitter's trade secrets and other confidential information, and Meta took advantage. That's what Elon is doing. And most people are saying, come on, man, come on. Don't do that, Musk. Don't even do that. Well, when you were firing people, you really didn't know that could happen. So they're not a detailed person, literally. We're going to see in the next few days what will happen when the two giants, I mean, in terms of the personalities, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, go head to head in trying to see if they can take over. Some people have said that no matter what you do, Twitter is just different, right? It's like a place, it's like a public marketplace where anybody and everybody has a say. You can meet a big man, in the words of Buki, my colleague. You can meet a big man today, and tomorrow you meet people in the trenches. You can be in conversations with people in the trenches tomorrow, and next tomorrow you're in conversations with the CEOs of the CEOs of the CEOs, biggest of them in the world, on Twitter, and everything, literally. Everybody can be dragged on Twitter. Oh, well, Elon, who bought Twitter in November 2022 or October 2022, thereabout, he's been dragged this whole week on the app he bought, paid for, and is still sustaining. Well, everybody can be dragged. That's the beauty of Twitter. Can Threads be a real competitor for Twitter? Is it possible now or in a few years' time? Will it just be another glorified Instagram for chatting? I don't know. I know surely that Mark is a businessman, very crude businessman he's bought Instagram, he bought WhatsApp. He keeps a low profile, but trust me, he keeps hitting the doubles and the triples every time in business. So, and then we're talking shares to valuation of the company. God. You know, IG is attached to Facebook. Facebook is like the parent, that gave way to Meta, but everything is still attached to Facebook. So if you're going to run promotions on Instagram, for example, you need that Facebook thing. And if Threads is attached to Instagram, if you dare to delete your Threads, all of you are jumping in now into the foray. You're jumping in. Yes, it's fine. Yes, get that the Threads, but there's a rule somewhere that says that if you're going to delete your Threads profile, you're going to be deleting your Instagram profile too. So you can't take it away. So it's like a connected application of some sort, or applications of some sort. So it's really going to be nice what we're going to see in the next few days, next few weeks, and next few months to the end of the year. And talking Twitter's valuation too. Twitter's valuation suffered a hit earlier this year. And this from Mark, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know what you think on IG, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Threads. Yes, but trust me, Elon, they're not the tell person. Like, they're not the tell person. Trust me. And everyone who thinks, what can we actually learn from this? What can we learn from this? So me personally, I know that nothing is permanent. Change is the only thing that is constant. And I think that's what Mark has done over the years. IG became a thing. Mark took over. WhatsApp was a thing. Mark took over. Text conversation is a thing. Mark is taking over. And I think he's also opened this up to the open source community. So there's something around that also happening. So I just think change is very, very, very important. Everyone should note that change is something that will come. Come it will. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long you sit at the top or at the bottom, change will surely come. Are you ready and prepared for the change that is to come? This is Tony's Tech Side. Okay, so we'll move on to the July 4th, 2023 being the hottest day ever in world's history. Well, this is on average, by the way, because some places it was too hot that, it was named the hottest day. And this is just Tuesday this week, July 4th, yes. And scientists ruled it as the hottest day ever globally on average. In some places, like the tropical rainforest area, here down in Nigeria, it's still raining. This is like the rainy season, so we do not exactly have like the hottest day, but on average globally, the highest we've ever gotten to was on July 4th, 2023. Some people would say that it's not true because the sun in Lagos, when it suns, God, I'm very sure it keeps breaking the scales and the records like every year. Notwithstanding, that's what we started with the week. Tuesday, July 4th, the hottest day ever globally on average, just so you add that. And note that it's important what we're doing in terms of climate action. The next time you buy plastics and nylons, if it's not necessary that you take them with you, drop them off. Let them go. Leave them alone. And when you also buy them, you can use them a couple of times before disposing off. Yeah? And when you dispose of them, please do that properly. Really important. We're getting to the point where we're going to be choked by plastics and nylons. Oh yes, the fishes are already eating it and we're eating the fishes. So it's more like we're eating the plastics that we're supposed to dispose of just because we dispose of them wrongly or not properly. Also this week in the news, a Nigerian state, Abia, in the southeastern region of Nigeria, introduced digital tax system. Yes. And the new government there actually talked about the many good this would do, because that state is a state filled with opportunities, but then most of the taxation that comes from the people who pay taxes go to individual pockets, and no one knows exactly how much the state could make or makes, in fact. And this would be a good one. And it's also not digital because it just wants accountability or to monitor how much money goes in and comes out, but because it's going to be an easier process, an easier means of paying your tax, right? And most Nigerians complain of, they're introducing a new tax. We have not seen, our taxes work for us in the country. And this is saying, you know what? At least you can say, oh yeah, I paid so amount of tax this year, and my whole community paid so amount of tax, X amount of tax this year. Where is it? What was it used for? And then you can put the side by side with the budget that the community have used to do whatever they have used, and then say, oh yeah, there is so X amount of money remaining or left. Where exactly is it? And you can also judge by, you did this amount of project and this amount of money you spent over. How did you get the extra money to do this? Are you giving us some of your money as charity? So that is also really important. And just so you know, in Nigeria, there's something called Aba made, just like there's something called China made, right? Like Chinese, like China made. Chinko, that's what it's called. Aba made is a word that's used to describe something that's substandard. And sometimes it's not substandard. In other times, it's used to describe something that's not from outside the country, something that's imported. Sometimes you hear, Aba made is usually better than, like imported, right? Or Chinko or Chinese made. There are a whole of opportunities there in terms of those in the fashion industry, those in the raw materials industry, and those in the e-commerce industry. Mad opportunities in Aba. And I really hope that when this kicks off, by the time we start tracking the numbers in terms of taxation, it's easier for us to, say, this X plus X plus X would give us this amount. So let's put in this amount of money to this because these guys are bringing the most amount of taxation. Or let's monitor this particular industry to be able to get what is needed from that particular industry. So yeah, big one for them. Big one. I give it up to Abia State and the new government led by Alex Oti. Yeah. And also Uganda kind of like introduced free internet for refugees. It was a big one. The Ugandan government partnered with the World Bank to launch the Universal Digital Acceleration Program program that will provide internet connection to refugee camps. And this is really good. Some good news. Brighter days, they say. And, well, even to those that are not at home. Yes. Now to Lagos, Nigeria's economic capital or economic hub. Yeah. What's happening in Lagos? The Lagos Waste Management Authority, LOMA, announced that it will start the sealing of exercises of houses that do not have waste bins on Lagos Island and Lagos mainland, July 7, Friday 2023. And just in case you're thinking, oh, this is always what they do, it's always what they say they've informed these places 2 months before now, and these people have just decided not to. Those who stay there and those who own those properties. So if you do not, you may not actually stay on Lagos Island or Lagos mainland, but if you do not have the right waste bins, or if you do not take out your waste the right way, please try to get the standard waste bins and try to live by the law. Really, really important. Something else that made the week was the FCCPC in Nigeria, that's Consumer Relations, saying that, you know what, we announced that POS charges are going to be really high, but we're saying now officially that no, those prices should not be used until we make another announcement. And of course, this created some kind of back and forth, because some people, when they even released it, some people were like, oh, these guys are joking, they play, and then somehow it started affecting the prices, and then they've come back to say this. And I just think that the whole idea, like I said earlier when I took this news out the first time, the whole idea of having these POS machines and services was to ensure that we serve the underserved areas, the places where there are no banks, no ATM machines. That's the idea behind the POS, so you can reach the people who have not been reached by financial services, or the people who have their access to financial services is really, really low, underserved areas. Yeah. And now, I don't know, the story isn't exactly the same. So one last story, and that would be it. Yes, the story will be the Pothole Patrol app getting a game-changing AI feature. Yeah, so Discovery Insure upgraded the Pothole Patrol mobile app with AI software to make it easier to identify road defects and potholes. What's the backstory? Well, in 2021, an initiative of Discovery Insure in partnership with the Dial Direct and the city of Johannesburg in South Africa to support the Joburg Roads Agency deal with the serious issues of potholes in the city, launched an app, right? The app was debuted in 2021, and so far, right, this particular app has helped save about 500 million rands per month. Yes, and that is actually the equivalent of buying 550,000 new tires each month. And it has led to almost 175,000 potholes in Joburg being fixed since the inception of this app. And with the integration of AI, man, it's going to be smarter, it's going to be faster. And I say, yes, round of applause for the city of Joburg actually taking this in and saying, yes, we're going to use this. And not just using it, having feedback on it, and at the same time integrating AI to it. Okay, so that's for the government in Joburg, the city of Joburg, and for all governments doing great things, from Abia to Lagos, Joburg, to the ones in Uganda, to Kenya, yes, all across the continent. Yes, that's how we end it for the show today. This episode, yes, we're done actually. So I'm back on Monday, live streaming on Africa Tech Radio's website, www.africatechradio.com. Mondays to Fridays, I'm back again. Yes, again. But then you can catch up on all our shows on the website. You can also do the same thing on Apple Podcasts. Just type Africa Tech Radio. You can do the same thing everywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. Yes, we're there, Africa Tech Radio. That's all you need to type.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to catch up on all the live shows right here on africatechradio.com.